Thank you for calling the office of Congressman Barry Loudermilk. If you have reached this recording, we are assisting others or it is after our normal business hours of 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. We will get back to you as soon as we are able. If you have an emergency related to a federal agency casework issue, such as passport, VA, or... Good morning, the office of Congressman Loudermilk.
I was calling in to see why Barry voted against, what is this, H.R. 2547?
Which one was that?
H.R. 2547. This is Comprehensive Debt Collection Improvement Act.
Let me see if I can get a clear answer for you. 1 second. All right. Thanks so much for holding. So pretty much that it would limit the ability for the debt to be collected, which would increase the cost of the loans for individuals and businesses. So it would end up making loans more expensive because people aren't repaying it back. And so just because of the long-term impracticability, more damage than what it would do, be helpful, that's the reason why he voted against it.
Interest rates right now are 2 to 5%. How does that make any sense?
I particularly am not sure. But if you want to pass along any message to the congressman concerning the issue, I can pass it along.
Does it really matter? Because I'm not one of his rich donors.
Yes, sir. We do pass along the messages every single day, and he does look at them. So if there's something that you're concerned about, we certainly want to hear as your constituent.
It surely doesn't seem like it because he hasn't held a town hall in years.
Just because we haven't had a town hall doesn't mean that he hasn't wanted to hear from our constituents. We just haven't been able to due to various circumstances.
So when would you call me back if I left a message?
Well, that's why we have staffers, which is why I'd like to write down any concerns that you have to pass along to the congressman. That we send out in an email to our alleged staff and to him daily.
Well, I mean, part of this bill was that, threatening reduced rank in military and security clearance with this bill, and Barry was for that, to threaten to collect a debt.
I think he's concerned about businesses and individual loans going up.
And I just told you that interest rates are 2 to 5% right now. That's really the concern.
From my understanding, I think interest rates would continue to increase if this bill was passed.
And also, he tweeted
if interest
this week.
rates then increase, then certainly the loans would increase, which would mean that they would have to repay higher rates. And those that are the lenders would struggle because people are able to not repay back. And so I think out of protection for both the person who loans and out of protection for the person who is receiving the loan, that's the reason why the congressman voted no.
Well, he also seemed to be very concerned that banks were not going to provide translation services to consumers as well. So I think it's very clear where Barry stands on this.
Okay, and do you want me to let him know that you were upset about him voting no on this issue?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. I will pass that along to the congressman. Thank you for your concern, and I'll certainly pass it along. Bye.
She actually engaged. You don't hear that. And she got in front of Barry's train wreck. So there you have it. This is H.R. 2547. My friend over at Cobb County Courier wrote up the story. David Scott at neighboring District 13 issued the statement in his support of this. There are provisions in this bill that would threaten service members with reduced rank and revoked security clearance over not paying a debt. Now, do we need to remind folks that Trump doesn't pay his bills and has declared bankruptcy how many times? That's Barry's buddy. And Barry wants to talk about some double standards here. Yeah, we see what's really going on here. Barry is getting paid by his rich donors, his banks, and so forth, to vote the way they want him to. Also reminded, as I brought up with her, where Barry's priorities are. He's more worried about protecting his banks and his donors with what he retweeted this week. So if someone who is not native English speaking goes into a bank, gets a loan, predatory lending, high interest rates, high fees, the bank could be liable for not providing translation services for something that they're putting in front of this borrower to sign. It just all goes back up to the same thing, buyer beware. But Barry has no interest in protecting the little person. So here you go. Who do you trust here? Continue to have people like Barry Loudermilk not voting in your interest, or our candidates? You decide.